record this. Right. As everybody starts to sign back in again, I must apologize that we are pushed for time so badly, but this is an incredibly full program today. And I think we're going to, just from a time perspective, have to get going again as the others come back. Give them another couple of seconds. Right. Okay. Welcome back to part 2. Cesar, we are still staying more or less on track. We've had to edit slightly over here, mix and match, because I want to keep a good timing for our special guest just now, who will be joining us in about 20 minutes. So Cesar, you have an amazing team. This is a network marketing business, meaning that we are networking with others, and in doing so, we call them teams. But we don't just sign people up and expect them to just wander off on their own and do their own thing. So we need to work with those team members, encourage them, and help them to grow, because we will have everything we want in life, but we need to help enough others get what they want. So if our team is not doing their thing, we're not going to be growing. So it is so important for us to grow our team. And I know Cesar and Eddie, you guys have got a very big international team. You are doing brilliantly. You're growing well. Please, can you share with us how you are working with your team? And I know they're not all local, they are spread around the world. Take it away.
Okay, thank you very much, Sean. And I'm not muted, am I? No. Okay. Eddie is here with me, and thank you for the opportunity to talk about working with our team, or working with your team in your case. And I just wanted to add the words "in this particular era" of lockdown and COVID and going online. And so just to give you a preamble about the bigger team that is called Neolife, you know, I'm just amazed how Neolife prepared us for such a time as this. Because as you might all remember, we started going online as long ago as 2017 with making Zoom appearances and Zoom trainings. And I actually was very, very keen on participating. And then in 2018, we were all, if you all recall, encouraged to use our online portals that had been prepared for us. Okay, change is difficult, but come lockdown, all of us know that we can now fully appreciate, by looking back, at how well prepared we were and all the preparations that went into it. So because change is so difficult, those of us who were a bit resistant have found that this particular era has resulted in maybe a drop in their businesses or even a total standstill, whereas others have actually flourished. But you know, our business is built on the foundation of change. That's the amazing thing. We all come into it, and the first thing that we have to do is to change our buying habits. So we just have to accept it, that we need to change and start using the product. So that's one thing that I emphasize with everybody who gets started in this business, that guys, the first do is use your products, and because everybody cleans their house or has to use some cleaning products, that's a good place to start. And sharing the Neolife opportunity is where I believe we now need to focus on. Once people are comfortable with that change of the product and appreciate how good the products are, then the next step, and that's where the training really comes in, is how to share this opportunity. Now, I believe that within that, the bigger shift in our mindset has to be the concept of team building. And I can tell you, I heard Vic say that he, for a long time, was working on his own. I think I'm similar. I'm naturally a very community-based person, but our profession, we work on our own, one-to-one with the patient. You don't call patients in large gatherings to see them all together because everybody's an individual. So I personally have now committed myself to do the following things, to sponsor at least one person per month, yeah. If I can do more than that, that's well and good, that's a bonus. But if I sponsor at least one and help somebody in the downline or a couple of people, even more, to do likewise so that I get the 3 in 30. You understand the concept of a 3 in 30? You have your own sponsored person and 2 others, so that altogether you have done at least 3 in 30. 3 new sponsors in a month. So that's something that I've been working on and encouraging my team to aim for that. But in so doing, I have learned something, that not everybody is a business builder. And I think that is one epiphany that I've had to accept, that yes, people will get started in this opportunity, but not everybody will necessarily build a big business. So I'm training myself now. It might be quite a while, but I'm training myself to identify those that are business builders. And how do I do that? Well, when people get started, I actually make it a point to meet with them regularly. And obviously in this era, it's either on Zoom or a WhatsApp call. And if anybody says, okay, I'm putting my hand up because I really want to reach my goal, which hopefully is to get to director, because that is sort of like a focal point that all of us in Neolife have, then I will say, okay, I will meet with you regularly. And at first it doesn't look like I'm hounding them, and they are not being hounded, I hope. But I try to set up phone calls or Zoom calls or get them engaged in whatever events I'm having. I do have quite a few things going during the week. So my plan, as I work with the team, is to identify 5 serious people with whom I can work at this point. And once those have been matured, then I can identify some more. And these are the characteristics that I'm looking out for. So for those of you who are in my team and on this call, please listen carefully. These are what I'm looking for. People who are eager to learn. People who actually ask for help. I've told you time and time again that my phone is open. Call anytime. People who are eager, who actually ask for help. And then people who are excited about the business, you know, and you can tell somebody is excited. People who are committed to this opportunity. And time and time again, I hear somebody who has signed up and then is busy comparing with that other opportunity. And when I used to do that other thing, and you know, there is this one that has just come into town, you know, that is a red flag for me. It immediately tells me that they are not committed to this opportunity. And then the next one, point number 5, is they're using the products. That is so obvious. It probably should have come up at the top, but yeah, using the products. And then people who have goals. I'll just tell you, somebody on the call today, we had a 30-minute check-in with each other. She's on the in the team. And I said, okay, we haven't had a check-in for a few days. Let's just chat. And we chatted for 30 minutes and we were discussing goals. And that's a good person to work with. And then somebody who has a written list of names, because that is our asset register. And people who are positive, I can't overemphasize that. Look, we've gone through this era of lockdown where everybody has been so negativized that we need to work that much harder with somebody who's already negative. So to save me that agony, I actually want to work with people who are positive already. And then people who look forward to training, such as this one. You know, we don't need to remind people. We know traditionally that in the Eagle team, we meet every first Saturday of the month. But if you have to crank people up and remind them and keep reminding them again, perhaps they're not business builders, and you sort of like put a little mark against that particular criterion. And then the 10th one, they don't allow naysayers to put them off. It doesn't matter how long it takes to reach your goal, but if you allow a naysayer to come and speak negativity and say you can't do this, that is definitely not a business builder. So those are my 10 criteria. And I must say it is not easy, but it can be done, because for each one that steps forward and says, okay, this is what I plan to do, I actually take time out to teach. And that's the crux of the matter. It's about teaching so that we can apply our business and the business principles and the products to real life. Because a lot of people think that, what is this, the use of cruciferous, for example, and then we can teach about it and they can apply it and then they will use it. That's an example. So my focus now is to identify the 5 and to build them up to a depth of 5, okay? And remember that this business is all about the 5 T's. Teachers, teaching, teachers to teach. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Cesar. And we can see that you are putting into action what you're talking about by watching the growth in your team and how you guys are stepping up. Right. Because it's a team, and the only time that we don't encourage positivity in this group is if you are actually infected with coronavirus. We don't want you to be positive for that. That way we want you to be negative. Further than that, we only deal with positive. And the positive right now, Debbie's favorite part of ADT every month, recognition, because we don't generally get recognized in our daily jobs unless you do something very, very wrong. So, Debbie, I know we don't have a lot of time. Thank you very much. Take it away.
Hi there, everybody. Well done. Gee, the talks have been fantastic this afternoon. Fantastic. Well done, guys. Give yourselves a hand clap. Yeah, we've had a few new distributors, and I can see some people on here. Well done, Boye and Jenny Potter and Linda Foster. That's what the name of the game is all about, is sponsoring, 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 sponsoring. And for the new distributors, we've got Zanelli, we've got Amanda, and we've got another Amanda. So yeah, I'm hoping they're on, but I can't see them. But we'll work with them like Cesar told us, and maybe next month. Okay. Step-ups were a bit difficult this month, I found, because of this short month. It was an extremely short month. We had a phenomenal month last month. So this month was very, very short. So I'm going to keep all my recognitions short as well. Congratulations to Linda and Sean on qualifying, and Jenny and Ina, directors, well done. And then I'd just like to say about our 500 club. We've got our 500 club for those people who are on here. It's an Eagle Team incentive where you get 500 of your own PV. That's you and your customers, like Vic showed us. And if you get 500 by yourself with your customers, you will get 70 Rand. If you do it with your team, you will get 50 Rand. And so the 50 Rands are Jenny Holiday, Ina, Barry and Liz and Jane Willard. I don't think they're on. I know Barry gave an excuse. Yeah, he excused himself. So yeah, so those are the extras over and above your near life income. It's amazing. There's so much money involved. I don't know why everyone's not jumping in on the bandwagon and actually capitalizing on all this money that's available. Come on, guys, we've got money that's waiting for us. We've got these wonderful excursions. So everything is going for us. We just have to do it. So, Cesar, have you got any recognitions for those that are on the chat?
Yes, I do.
Please, go ahead.
Okay, I'll be very, very quick. Nokuzola is still here. She did a qualifying PV of over 500. So she will get her 50 Rand. And then I want to recognize Gugu Ndabezita. Gugu, are you still there? Yay, Gugu is still here. She's now qualified senior manager, yay. And she has her 2 legs on the core right now. I want to recognize Zandi, who did her step up to distributor this month. And she's one of those who's eager to learn, shows up, and I love Zandi to bits. And we also have Nishia. You've heard Nishia at the other rally. Well, Nishia had a sign up with 100 PV kit, and she's a senior manager waiting to step up to qualified senior manager. So Nishia is also due to get her 50 Rand savings from the Eagle team. The other one that stepped up to senior manager, unfortunately couldn't make it today. She had to go out for lunch for her birthday. So I would have loved to recognize her, but it's her birthday today. And so, yeah, thank you. I see Charlie is on.
Right, Sean, take it away.
Well done,
Hello,
everybody.
Charlie.
Thank you very much. Charlie, you are on mute, so if you can unmute yourself. And we are very honored and privileged today to have the leader of the biggest team in near life in the world sharing some of his wisdom with us. Charlie, thank you very much for joining us. It's great to see you. You're looking younger and healthier every time I see you. Go ahead, take it away.
God bless.
Well done, Charlie.
Hi, folks. Do you hear me now? Am I off mute?
Yeah, you're
Yes,
on.
you are.
Go for it.
Okay, good. Okay, folks, good to be chatting with you. I think that's a real privilege. You know, I think a lot of people take things for granted. I don't. So it's a real privilege to chat with you. For those who have never met Alton and I before, I've just been thinking back today after Debbie spoke to me. So I'll just get it on there. Anyhow, I was thinking back to when we started. You know, many of our friends laughed at us. Many of us told us we're crazy. This was back in August 1973. But I want to encourage you today to maybe go back to some of those people. I want to mention a good example. One guy, I won't mention his surname, but his name was Andries. He's a great pal of mine. We did a lot of things. We played rugby together, did a lot of things together. And when we started a business, he told me I was busy with a load of, I won't mention a word. And anyhow, we just left him. But every time Alton and I went overseas, the first trip was to Mauritius in, I think, 1977, 78 with the company. We'd buy postcards. That's before all the SMSs and the cell phones. And Alton would write out a postcard to all the people who said no. And so having a great time, yeah, wish you were here. You see, and we did that to this guy numerous times. So in the 80s, he actually joined the business. Now, why I want to relate that story with you, don't not go back to the people who said no, because who he sponsored was a Dutch Reform minister, Koringhoff, from the Addo area. And that guy, him and his wife separated, whatever, but in the interim, he sponsored Mike van Deventer. which is today a 4-Ruby director. So I want to encourage you, don't sweep some people under the mat. Go back to your nose, go back to them. You never know what they're thinking, what their circumstances have changed and all that. And, you know, a lot of people look at age, and I want to tell you, age is in your head, not in years. You know, before this call, I went into, Alt and I got a little gym here, and I went in onto a rebounder for 5 minutes just to get the circulation going. To keep fit, I'll go later onto the weights, but you know, I need to go back to your nose. And this team of you, the Osprey team, actually also came out of a no, right? We met a guy at the Queenstown Horse Show. Irene and I were showing their horses there. And this guy worked for the Department of Foreign Affairs. And somehow I initially said no, but in the interim, he sponsored somebody in Somerset East, who in turn sponsored Yanni Chaya, who in turn is your upline, okay, way up. So I want to encourage you all, don't write people off. They might say no now, but their circumstances change and their decisions might change, and they might decide to get serious about the business. Now, I think all of us need to decide if we want to build something for the future, build a legacy for your families, build something for your loved ones. Because you know, folks, this is, to me, the best pension scheme you could ever wish for. It's inflation-proof. It keeps going. You know, I always talk about Ubri and what she earns every month, and she's not even active for the last 2 or 3 years. Yet her income comes through every month, and price of the products go up, as it will with inflation. The income goes up. And the next thing I want to share with you, you know, if you're going to get serious about it, look after your health. It's important, you know, because people look at you. I had a guy look at me a little while ago from BKB, one of the co-ops in PE, and he hadn't seen me for a couple of years maybe. And he said, "What are you using?" I said, "Why you ask?" He said, "You look so good." So I'm going to prospect him and get him into the business. So you're going to be out there and look apart, be excited, have your dreams and your goals written down, because I don't believe we've started with Neolife in Africa yet. We not even launched yet. We're right in the basement still. What's going to happen is something incredible. We're going to really touch, and you know, don't think I'm sitting in Durban or somewhere, wherever you are, or in Eastern Cape. You can't get people in other countries. It's funny how it goes. I'll give you an example. A little town near Uitenhage, Dispatch, is where the Namibian leg originated, but it went from there to somewhere else, went to Pretoria, from Pretoria to Windhoek, and there's Van Alphensleben and Nelly Dumeni's business. You know, so you never know where it's going to happen. I think that's the most exciting thing in the business. You just don't know. You know, I look at the Ghana leg. That guy is a motor mechanic in Thornhill. Went to somebody in Eastern Free State. From there to Heidelberg in the Transvaal. And there happened to be a mine manager from Ghana in Heidelberg on some other mining course. He worked in the gold mine in Ghana. And somebody sponsored him. This leg sponsored him in Heidelberg. Now you've got a leg in Ghana, right? That's 20 away from us or more. But, you know, it's exciting what can happen. It actually really is what can happen to your business as you start building it. And don't worry about the challenges. You know, I believe, hey, we've had massive challenges in our lives in the business coming all the way. No money, no this, no that. And that's God just testing you. If you're worthy for what he's got in store for you. You see, he's got something in store for you, you just don't know anything about. So go through your challenges. They'll only make you stronger. And remember what I always say to people in life. Nothing that ever happens to you is bad unless you view it as bad. See, things happen to us and happen to me, and I always say that's good, right? Be it if I had a kudu run into the side of the car, or I was traveling to PE one day. This was my Wrangler Jeep, John, when Yanni was actually on the farm doing something for, we weren't living here. We still lived in the other area. But anyhow, he sent me into town to get a part for the windmill. And near P, I stopped at a traffic light behind 2 or 3 rows of cars. There were about 4 lanes. And there was a cop van in a lane or 2 away from me. And the robot went green and we all moved forward. But a guy came through from my right-hand side, flat out with a bakkie. And my Jeep's left-hand drive. And he smacked us on the right-hand side, right? And whipped the Jeep onto its side. I just bailed out the top door, got out, and people around, they said, come, I'll offer him $100, let's get it up. Put it up, the cop took my name, okay? And off I went again. You know, don't get hung up on things like that. You know, it's just life happens. You know, it happens to anybody. It all depends on your attitude to what happens, right? So just accept that, go out there. If somebody says no, so what? If you, a lot of times they just say, no, I don't understand. Or something like that, you know what I mean? And so you never know why they, or no, I don't have enough information. Each one mindset is different. Some people need a lot of logic to get started. Some people like myself didn't need any logic. You know, we were just hungry for money. We were broke. Now, we had a rented house, and month end, Alt and I, we just, you know, Denise was a year old. We had 2 older children then. So she couldn't go to work. So we were really challenged. You know, it's month end was a challenging time for us. You know, I'd even bounce a 2 rand check. So none of you ever done that, but checks are not, you can't use a check anymore after the end of December, but in those days we used them. So don't worry about things like that. I think set your goals, set your dreams right, and focus on that. Focus on where you're headed. Don't focus on where you are right now, because that's not your future. Your future is where you vision you're going to be. And you've got to vision it in your mind and see the picture, or else you're not going to get there. So I encourage you to focus on your future. Focus where we're headed, because really, neo-life is an incredible opportunity. I defy anyone to take that marketing plan and fault it. We've run it down to the 100 legs away already, right? And it does not self-destruct. And whatever you're going to earn there, you're going to earn. Neo-life is good for its word, okay? The products are phenomenal. Often have people say they want to compare some other product like Herbalife or what they buy at this chem or Clicks or from this one or that one. I said, please don't waste my time. There's not a product on earth that compare with whole food supplements like Neo-life. You see, we don't sell the vitamins that you'll buy out there. They are whole food supplements out of the human food chain, non-genetically modified ingredients. I've been to the setup in California. It's phenomenal. And there's actually Dr. Arthur First and the team there, Ariana and all of them, developed a human stomach, a plastic human stomach that works just like ours. The peristaltic action, all the different juices and acids in the right places, and every product that is developed, they check if it releases where it has to release. Some have to be released in your intestines, some in your lower intestine, some in your colon, and it doesn't matter, but wherever they say it's going to release, it releases. And I challenge you, go and try any of those other products and go out into the country one day and sit under a tree and have a bowel movement, and you'll tend to want to see whatever you were having on the ground with the manufacturer's name on its stuff. That's how well some of them digested. Okay, so I really people mustn't even try and compare our products with me. I don't, yeah, it takes no mind, to think of that, right? But Neolife, why it grows in Africa, it works. In Africa, if a product does not work, you will leave town. And all these other countries, the Amways, they've left Namibia, they've left this country. They might be in South Africa. I don't even know if they're still in South Africa, but they got a couple of affluent people who got money in South Africa, and they keep buying the things whether they feel any difference or not, right? You get people like that. But in Africa, if a product doesn't work, if they don't feel a benefit, you're going to leave town. So I'm very excited about this company, about the business, about the future. John and Debbie are great leaders. So are all the other emeralds there and your directors and even the new people. We all start off the same way. Sometimes we have our doubts. But I encourage you, look at the cruise. Go and print out a color picture of a cruise for next year, 11th to 14th of February, and stick it up and decide you're going to do it. It must drive you nuts. You understand? You must talk it all the time. Don't be hesitant about it. I'll tell you a little story. It must have been about 1977, somewhere down there. We went to Mauritius one, and the next trip was to Spain. But Alt and I were far from qualified for Spain. But the moment they announced the trip, I went and bought myself a cassette tape. That's before CDs and MP3s and all that was available. I bought a cassette tape. It was titled Viva España. It's a song. You might have heard it years ago. And I put that in a tape player. I never had a tape in my car, in the company vehicle I used, but I had a tape player. And I used to listen to that thing all the time. It drove us nuts, right? And you know what? When we were boarding the steps in Johannesburg to go to Spain, okay, I'll never forget the first trip was to Torremolinos on the coast of Spain. I actually had a tape play in my hand playing Viva España as I'm boarding the steps in the plane. In the plane I was playing. People must have thought we were nuts, but I was nuts. I was excited about it. I couldn't care what other people were thinking. And I think it's not important what other people think or say about you. You just be yourself. You go and get excited about this business, about this opportunity. Hey, some people have said no to us, but they died broke. And the sad thing is they've actually died because they weren't on nutritional products. If I still had the habits I had before this business, I can promise you, God would not have kept me around, right? I give the Lord Jesus all the honor and glory for where we are today, and He kept us going, right? Because He knows when anything happens to you, like with the COVID, it was rough. My oxygen was down to 60%. I couldn't even talk. And you know what? He's obviously got another plan. He's got things for me to do. Okay? And that's important. So, and that's what Angus actually sent a message to me. I don't know if you've ever heard that, John. Maybe I'll send it to you guys sometime. And he actually prayed for us, and he said, remember, it's not over till God says it's over. So while you're around, look after your body, look after your health, think the right way, get excited about your future, because man, it's going to be exciting. Alta's doing fantastic. This place looks like a home again. I tell you what, black bag. We don't buy the normal black bags. We have a special black bag put on, okay? And it's full of rubbish already, full of things that she's thrown out. So thank you very much, and God bless you guys, and we're going to see you on the cruise. And hopefully before that, John will see you at what's the name? In George one of these days, at Fan Court.
Yes.
Okay, God bless.
Well
See you
done.
guys.
Thank you, Charlie. Thanks
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you, Charlie.
Love you.
Thank you. Bye.
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 Thanks for joining us. And there you go, people. That is diamond encrusted information and encouragement. Charlie, not just telling us what to do, but showing us what to do. Now, because we are sort of running out of time again, and we still got a couple of talks to go, which I really think are important enough to do, if you wouldn't mind bearing with us, we would like to end the session and then sign back in again. And we're going to wrap up with 2 more very important talks that I don't think we can finish this ADT without doing. So even though I know we've only got about 4 minutes left on this particular section over here, please, if you would bear with me, let's sign out, give us about a minute, sign back in, and we'll have a fresh 40 minutes. We can go. But let's come on back in again, and we're going to finish off the program with our last couple of speakers. Thanks very much. I'm just going to end this one now, and we'll sign back in again shortly.